Good morning, everybody. It's good to see all your bright, shiny faces. I absolutely love seeing you here. Give it up for Donna and the Unity Band. What a great day to be here and a great day to be alive. Let's celebrate because we just finished up the two busiest weekends of our year. Last weekend we had the yard sale, and this last couple days we had Planet Unity, and all I have to say is, Lisa, 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 Lisa. My profound thank you to all of you, though, who supported us in these ways, both with the yard sale and Planet Unity, because it takes a lot of us to do this. It's a lot of work, a lot of planning, a lot of coordination, and you guys did phenomenal. Thank you so much. So an Oklahoma man, a priest, was driving east on I-44 just outside of Springfield, and he was stopped for speeding just outside of Springfield. The state trooper smells alcohol in the priest's breath and then sees an empty wine bottle on the floor of the car, and he says, "Sir, have you been drinking?" "Just water," says the priest. The trooper says, "Then why do I smell wine?" "Good Lord, it's a miracle. He's done it again." My talk today is on miracles, as you know. Now, miracles cover a lot of territory, and for a lot of people, you may have experienced or viewed or even heard about some of the miracles in your lifetime, and I know there are some big miracles out there, and some have left me in a lot of awe, that's for sure. Now, many of you might think I'm going to be talking about A Course in Miracles, and so let me state this briefly. ACIM is wonderful, and I've studied it for years. This modern spiritual text defines miracles primarily as shifts in perception from fear to love. A true definition is a correction in the mind, a change from ego-based thinking such as fear and judgment to love, forgiveness, and unity. But there are other, more popular variations on the concept of miracles. In traditional Catholic Christianity, miracles are supernatural acts of God that transcend natural laws and demonstrate divine power. A miracle is an extraordinary event caused by God that cannot be explained by natural or scientific causes. They often serve as signs of God's presence or a confirmation of faith. Biblical examples of these include turning water into wine, or a confirmation of faith. Turning water into wine or walking on water, A 20th century example would be the miracle of the sun at Fatima in Portugal, where thousands witnessed the sun dance, an event that was recognized by the church as a miracle following apparitions of Mary to 3 children. In this framework, miracles are divine interventions into the natural order. On a lighter note, there are some popular cultural and religious claims of miracles that are apparitions called pareidolia, where the brain recognizes familiar patterns like faces in random objects. Famous examples of these include the Virgin Mary grilled cheese, where in 2004, a woman sold a 10-year-old toasted sandwich for $28,000, which she believed bore the likeness of the Virgin Mary. Or the miracle tortilla, where in 1977, Maria Rubio of New Mexico saw the face of Jesus in a tortilla, leading her family to build a shrine for it that drew thousands. We also have the very recent miracle here in our own Springfield, Missouri, which became the subject of national satire for miraculous claims of a woman regrowing 3 toes following prayer. But we all know this was just a woman and her pastor who are tiptoeing through personal growth. Sorry, I had to throw our own miracle in there too. Getting back on track. In common modern usage, a miracle often means something extremely fortunate or improbable. It might be a person surviving a terrible accident. In 2013, Harrison Okini was a Nigerian cook. He survived for 3 days, trapped in an air pocket inside a sunken ship on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. He was the sole survivor and miraculously found alive after a rescue team were searching for cadavers. It also might be a sports victory.
Rochester, New York, has a new, most unlikely hero, a special ed student by the name of Jason McElwain.
Let's keep it going.
Jason is the basketball team manager. For the past couple years, he's been assisting Coach Jim Johnson, helping with whatever the team needs.
And go! Get him motivated and hand out water and just be enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic, to say the least. Despite being born with autism, Jason's father says his son has never had a problem expressing himself at basketball games.
I was always concerned that he might get a technical and they lose a game because he, start yelling or whatever.
Let's have a hard practice tomorrow, all hour and a half, and let's get ready for Arcadia. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 2.
Because he has been so devoted to the team, for the last game of the season, Coach Johnson decided to let Jason actually suit up. Not to play necessarily, just to let him feel what it's like to wear a jersey.
At least that was the plan. But with 4 minutes to go in last week's game, Coach Johnson stood up and pointed to number 52, Jason McElwain. After years of fetching water and toweling off other people's sweat, Jason was actually in a game. His first shot was a 20-footer from the right baseline.
Was it close? Did you almost make it?
I just airballed it.
I'm like, just, dear God, please, let's just get him a basket.
His second shot missed too, but the third was a charm. A three-point no-doubter. And Jason wasn't done yet. Not by a long shot.
If I wasn't there to witness it, I wouldn't have believed it,
You caught fire.
I just caught fire. I was hot as a pistol.
Jason ended up shooting 6 3-pointers. One right after the other. He had 20 points total, and each time a shot went in, his teammates and the crowd went a little crazier. His last basket, right at the buzzer, created total mayhem. Because he is autistic, Jason says he's used to feeling different, but never this different. Never this wonderful. Steve Hartman, CBS News.
I tear up every time I see that. I had to throw that one in here. So, the word miracle often means astonishing good fortune. Oh, I had it right, sorry. This is my friend D'Artagnan Brown. On August 9th, 1974, my friend D'Artagnan Brown became severely ill. He was a member of the jazz rock fusion band Chase. Just 2 years earlier, they had secured the Best New Artist Grammy nomination, and their new hit single, Get It On, had reached number 22 on the Billboard chart for 26 weeks. They performed on The Tonight Show and the Smothers Brothers TV Hour. Because of his illness, he wasn't able to travel with his group that day to a concert in Minnesota. During a sudden, violent storm, their plane went down. There were no survivors. To my friend, amongst the tragedy, he had been spared his life. In mystical, contemplative Christianity, mystics often describe miracles as manifestations of divine union or awakened consciousness. It is a revelation of God's presence in ordinary life. It might be a profound experience of unity with God during prayer. It might be seeing the divine presence in nature or another person. It might be a life completely transformed by love, compassion, and humility. New Thought and Unity understand miracles differently. Miracles are seen as a natural result of aligning consciousness with divine spiritual law. Rather than suspending natural law, miracles reveal deeper spiritual laws that operate through the mind, faith, and divine presence. Myrtle and Charles Fillmore emphasize that spiritual realization can bring healing and transformation. A person practices affirmative prayer and experiences unexpected physical healing. And as I previously mentioned, I witnessed this a few years ago when a friend of mine, given 6 weeks to live after a diagnosis of terminal liver cancer, healed herself completely in just 2 weeks through affirmative prayer. This is called spontaneous remission in medicine. Our very own Don Fredrickson was told several years ago, following a medical procedure for colon cancer, that he'd be required to live the rest of his days in a nursing home. You can see for yourselves how following the principles have benefited Don. And thank you, Don, for letting me share your story. Other examples might be someone shifts their mindset from lack to abundance and sees new opportunities appear. A broken relationship heals when both people recognize the divine presence within each other. A person who lived in anxiety finds lasting peace through spiritual practice. In New Thought, miracles are demonstrations of spiritual consciousness rather than supernatural violations. Across traditions, the idea of a miracle gradually moves from a supernatural event to a spiritual transformation, to a shift in awareness. Many modern spiritual traditions would say the greatest miracle is not breaking the laws of nature, but awakening to the divine presence already within us. The outer miracle may inspire us, but the inner miracle transforms us. Now let's be honest for just a moment. If we saw someone walking across the water on Table Rock Lake, most of us would say, "Oh, look, a Jesus demonstration, right?" No! Because the mind wants to explain and analyze, wants to categorize. How did that really happen? What's the illusion? Is that physics defying or is it a magic trick? And those are obvious questions. But unity invites us into a deeper one. What is this Bible story of Jesus walking on water revealing about consciousness? Because whether something extraordinary happened on those waters or not, this story endured for 2,000 years for a reason. It speaks to something universal. Because every one of us has been in that boat, the boat of our carefully constructed life, the boat of what we can control, the boat of what feels safe and predictable. A beautiful ocean at dusk. And then this storm comes. And suddenly the boat doesn't feel so secure anymore. And here comes Jesus, not calming the storm yet, not stopping the wind, but walking right through it. And the first response of the disciples is not faith, it's fear. Isn't that just like us? When something higher appears in our life, a new possibility, a deeper calling, a greater truth, our first reaction is likely not, "Oh good, God's here." It's often, "Is this going to mess up my life?" But then comes the inner voice. "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." Ever have that happen? In the Bible, Peter impulsive human Peter says, Lord, if it is you, tell me. And Jesus says one word, come. Now this is where the miracle shifts. Because the miracle is not only that Jesus walks on water, the miracle is that Peter steps out of the boat. And for a moment, he walks. Can you imagine that moment? Foot leaving the boat, touching what should hold him, should not hold him. And it holds. Because in that moment, Peter's not thinking about the wind. He's not analyzing the waves. He's aligned completely with trust. And then he looks around. He sees the storm. He remembers the rules. And he begins to sink. Now here's the Unity insight. Peter didn't sink because the storm got stronger. He sank because his consciousness shifted from faith to fear, from trust to doubt. And isn't that the human experience? We step out in faith. We say yes to something bigger. We feel the presence of God moving in us. And then we check our bank account. We remember what someone said about us in the past. We listen to the news. How many times has that got us into trouble? And suddenly, we're sinking. But here's the good news. Jesus doesn't stand on the water and say, well, Peter, that's what you get for not maintaining a perfect vibration. No. He reaches out his hand immediately. No delay, no judgment, just presence and love. And he says, why did you doubt? Not as a condemnation, but as an invitation. An invitation to remember. In Unity, we understand that Jesus is not showing us an exception. He's showing us a principle, a spiritual law, that there is a level of consciousness that is not subject to fear. A level of awareness that is not controlled by outer conditions. A presence within you that is greater than any storm you will ever face. You can walk through fear without being ruled by it. You can move through uncertainty without collapsing into it. You can live in a world of storms and still carry peace within you. Because the real miracle is not out there on the water. The real miracle is the transformation of consciousness. Let me give you an example. Ever have someone come to you and say, I don't know how I'm going to make it. You know how this feels, right? And everything in the world says, yep, this is a problem. This is serious, overwhelming. But something in you says, no. There's a deeper truth here. And instead of panic, you choose patience. Instead of fear, you choose trust. And instead of sinking, you stand. That's walking on water. When life throws you into emotional waves, anxiety, anger, overwhelmment, and instead of reacting, you pause, you breathe, you remember, I am not this storm. I am the presence of God within it. That's walking on water. So how do miracles apply to you? My friends, I'm here to tell you there are miracles happening to you, in front of you, around you every moment. The real key is to become aware of them. We can find them in the little things where you least expect them. In nature, we can see and feel the Spirit everywhere. In the trees, we see the majesty and embrace the wisdom and breathe the breath of life from oxygen that they provide. In the vastness of the universe, we feel our place amongst this home. In the life force of the plants, animals, and insects, and the harmonious balance that creates a living world. We live on that razor-thin miracle we call life. In the kindness of a stranger and the love of a friend or relative, for the support they give us at any moment, and especially when we need it in our most vulnerable moment. In the magnificent universe that we call your body, every moment, there are 30 trillion cells and 39 trillion good bacterial cells that are coursing through your body, knowing exactly how to perform the miracle of not only keeping you alive, but keeping you absolutely healthy. All your organs, all your body systems, all the fluids, muscle, bone, tissue, they work and coordinate together for your very existence. There is divine order and divine love in this plan that we call the body temple. And then there is the soul that binds you to the greatest miracle, your connection to Spirit and God. This soul, when utilized, awakens you to who you truly are. You are the light. You are the miracle. In order to experience miracles, what we need to do is daily look for the miracles all around you, in the life of your family, in the context of your church community, in your town, your nation, your world. We need for you to see these miracles now more than ever. You are a miracle in this church. Sitting in your chairs, I want you to take 10 seconds and tell the person on each side of you, in front of you and behind you, you are a miracle in this church. You have 10 seconds. You're a miracle in this church. Thank you. Hey, didn't that feel good? And now, I want you to say the most important statement of truth to yourself. Let's all say this together. I am a miracle in this church. My friends, the invitation today is simple. Where's your storm? Where's your boat? What are you clinging to that feels safe, but is actually limiting you? And what is calling you forward? Because the Christ presence is always saying the same word. Come. Come beyond fear, beyond appearances. Come into trust and the deeper truth of who you are. Yes, you may wobble. You may have moments where you feel like you're sinking. That's not failure. That's being human. The miracle is not perfection. The miracle is remembering and allowing yourself to be lifted again. Because the hand of God is always extended. So today we don't ask, can I walk on water? We ask, Can I trust the presence of God within me more than I trust the storm around me? And if the answer is even a little bit yes, you're already stepping out of the boat. Let's take a gentle breath together. I invite you to close your eyes and turn within. There is a presence here closer than breath, deeper than thought. A presence that is not shaken by storms, not moved by fear, nor limited by appearances. That presence is the Christ within. It is the calm in the chaos. It is the strength in uncertainty. It is the peace that passes understanding. And right here, right now, we remember we are not alone in the storm. We're not separate from the power that sustains us. We are held, guided, lifted, supported. Where there has been fear, let there be trust. Where there has been doubt, let there be remembering. And where there has been striving, let there be surrender. And where we have felt like we are sinking, we now feel a gentle, steady hand lifting us once again. I invite you to open your eyes and repeat with me the final affirmation. We give thanks for the miracle of awareness, the miracle of presence, the miracle of awakening, and we step forward in faith. My friends, this week, be the miracles that you already are, but be it in awareness. Step out of your boat of fears, and into the embrace of a loving and supportive divine power. And so it is. Namaste.